Hello, welcome back to another episode of Flash Review, where I review Flash games and give it a little flash. And before we get into today's Flash Review, the last Flash Review, I don't know for sure, but it might have been demonetized. Like, I didn't make a single dollar off of that video. So, today, there's gonna be no swear words, no, swear words. Today's theme for Flash Review is going to be vehicle games. Games where you play as a vehicle. I played a couple of these, definitely a few, and I'm going to be just reviewing all of them. So let's get into it. So the first game is called Traffic Run, and I find it's very similar to the game Frogger. That's just my opinion though. In the game, you're a car, and you have to cross a road to get to a point, and not hit any of the other cars, or have them hit you. You can also get coins, and you can get a random vehicle for 100 coins at first, then it's 200, then 300, etc. The graphics for the game are, pretty good for a Flash game. Couldn't really expect much else. There are a few points where it's like, could have designed the level more, because like the level kind of just ends abruptly, or like the cars, like the road ends but then the cars keep going, and it's like you could have put a little more effort into that, I would say. But the gameplay is just pretty generic. I made it to like level 60. That's pretty much the entire game. It gets progressively harder, but it's pretty easy. That being said, it's pretty decent game overall. I'm gonna give it a 7. It's closer to a 6 than it is to an 8. So the next game is Moto Racer. In this game, you get to be a motorcycle, and you have to try to get to the end of a level sometimes. But sometimes you have to do other random things, like just drive a certain amount of time and there's no checkpoint. Or in some levels, you have to, I think it's called overtake cars, which is basically you go really close to them and then you like move to the side. Or maybe you don't have to do that, because sometimes it just sort of you just have to be next to the car, and if you're going fast, it overtakes them. I don't exactly know how the mechanic works, but yeah. You can save up money, which you get from playing them and beating them and whatever, to get different vehicles which go faster, harder, better, stronger. And there are levels. When you die in the game, you don't actually die, you just kind of fall down and then get back up, and then any time that it took to do that animation, you lose that amount of time. The game can be fun when you're like dodging a bunch of cars. It's definitely at its most exciting peak, more exciting than the last game we talked about. But overall, it's just kind of okay. I'm probably gonna have to give this game a 7 out of 10. In the scale of these racing games, it's better than a few, but in the scale of Flash games in general, it's just good, I guess. Graphically speaking, it's not that good though. So even though I'd rather play this one, I think I'm gonna have to give it a 6 actually. So let's get into the next game. Our next game is called Traffic Bike Racing. I know, a very creative name. How is the game actually? Compared to the other game, it's about as good overall. It is funner, the actual riding in the game. It's much more speedy, and if you die, you actually restart the level. So those are the benefits. It's a lot funner overall, but the downsides are there's no progression. You just have a car, and then you just do things, and that's it. It's kind of gets a little bit boring after you play it for a bit. So I'm just gonna have to give it the same rating. The graphics are just as good. Maximum Acceleration is the worst game I put that's gonna be on this list. You get all these cars, and if you get money, not money. I think it's trophies or money. I don't remember. You can unlock new cars. In the game, but you start off with this car, And, you know, you start the race and you're like, oh, it's fine, you know, I just passed a couple people. I'm doing pretty good. But then, oh, the frame rate starts to dip. And then you're like, that's pretty weird. And then it continues to get worse. So basically, the frame rate gets to total shit, especially when you actually go off the path, which normally happens because the frame rate's bad. And then you you can't do anything. But just in general, the turning mechanics are just so shit, because it's just like, you'll be going, you know, pretty smoothly, but then you'll move like one, like, slight movement, and then it'll just be like, and it's just really annoying. It's almost impossible to actually beat to actually get anything. The most I got was 6th place, and there's only 5 other cars. I just restarted it repeatedly because you get to certain points where you just can't win. And the graphics are obviously shit. It's just terrible game. It's not the worst possible game though. I don't know. I'll give it like, because there's potential. I'll give it like a 3. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. It's closer to a 2 than a 4.
Alright, so our next
game is Russian Extreme Offload. Is a game that I played. I played this game, but what is there to be offered in Russian Extreme Offload? The driving mechanics are okay. They're kind of shit, but compared to the last game, they're actually pretty good. So basically, in this game, you try to get from point A to point B. I know, very exciting, very just exciting game. Just hearing about it, you're getting excited. I know. And if you touch any cone or like wall or anything, you die. You can change the angle of where you're driving, which is actually a pretty useful mechanic. The game can sometimes be infuriating because sometimes you have to make very specific movements just to be able to actually not just get fucked. And that's pretty annoying after a while. You can actually just go to random places in some of these maps and accomplish absolutely nothing and waste your time. That's pretty fun. But overall, the game is just kind of lame. It's like, I'm gonna give it like a 5. And when I say 5, it's closer to a 4 than a 6. But it still gets a 5 because I can't really say that it's below average. I mean, it's probably above average, but just in the scale of Flash games I've played, because I try to play ones that look like they might actually be good or at least like funny. It's alright. This was a Flash review. Hey, maybe there'll be one next month. I hope there will be. And this month, there will probably be one more video besides the Tips Tuesday that isn't this one. So that's pretty cool. Next month, I want to try to make a video every week that isn't a Tips Tuesday. I have at least 2 videos besides this one planned. So, you know, might happen. This month I haven't made videos because since my second monitor broke. And yeah. I'm gonna eat an again. I think Shrek 2 is actually better than the original. It's not a popular opinion. I don't know, I feel like Shrek 3 is just like, too many people just are hating on it when like, it's really like, you know, people say like, oh, you know, with some sequels, it's like, oh, it's just the same one but new. So that basically means it's just the same one but better than the original. And like, who cares when they were released? If it's better than the original, it's just a better movie overall. Doesn't matter how original it is compared to the actual original one. Same thing with like, you know, songs, artists. Someone rips off someone but makes a better song, then that's clearly just a great song, and the original is just worse, right? So like, what I'm basically saying is like, I don't know. Movies are like onions. They have like layers, you know? There's the first layer. There's the second layer. Oh, there's the third layer, but most movies don't have that one anymore. I agree with myself. Alright, I'm gonna bite into this onion. Okay, you see that? You bite into it. This isn't even that bad. I don't know how weak you have to be to like, you bite into an onion and then you just start going like, what a bunch of weaklings. I'm not gonna take a second bite, but end.